We almost kept working 10 more years, and not because we were so excited to do that.
Yeah, we were chasing a retirement number that never actually felt right.
And the annoying part was we were doing everything we were told to do. Saving, investing, being responsible. No crazy spending. Hey, we said no to having a boat and skidoos.
Yeah, that was sad for our kids then, but for us it was excellent financial choice, so kudos, babe.
Yeah, we rented a boat anyways. If we wanted to have fun in the water or go kayaking, we'd rent a kayak as well. No need for ownership expenses. But coming back to retirement planning, well, every time we ran the numbers, we saw that staying in our Seattle suburban area would cost us around $7,000 a month.
And that is $84,000 a year just to cover the basics here in the US suburbia. So clearly, something is just not working out with those numbers to our advantage.
Okay, so let's slow it down real simple. Here's what normal life looks like for us here in US suburbia. Housing, around $3,000. Utilities and internet, $400. Groceries and eating out, about $1,000. Cars, gasoline, about $800. Health insurance, $1,200. And some travel and fun, $600.
That's just very basic cost of living for us in the US.
And all of that adds up to $7,000 a month.
Now here's the part that most people don't even think about initially.
Inflation. Even if prices only go up 3% a year, that's $7,000. That doesn't stay $7,000. 10 years from now, you're looking at the same lifestyle covering closer to $9,400 a month.
And that is over $110,000 a year just to stay in the same place.
So then retirement seems like this further out in the distance idea, not so easy to bring into the present.
So if you're getting value from this video, would you do us a favor and hit the subscribe and notification bell button?
It really helps this channel reach more people our age trying to figure this stuff out.
And we would love to hear from you in the comments. What is your biggest obstacle when it comes to retirement planning?
Or if you've already worked through one obstacle, share how you overcame it. Your comments are very helpful. They help us in our community and they sharpen our retirement goals and ideas to get to the finish line.
Yeah, we learn a lot from you as well. So getting back to our retirement planning, of course we tried the obvious, all the advice that is out there.
Gotta save more. Get a second job. Hustle, hustle, hustle.
Or work for a whole lot more years. Some people work well beyond their 70s.
But not many account for the part where they're forced into early retirement due to a layoff.
Yes, many forget that their health span will not be the same as their lifespan. So when their health fails them, they are forced to retire, even if they don't want to.
These are your healthiest years, your go-go years. So we decided we better use them wisely. Then we'll slow down eventually.
Yeah. So we stopped asking, how do we squeeze harder to make more money?
And started asking, hold on a second. Why is our retirement cost of living so expensive in the first place?
So then we looked at various locations and we let that information simmer for a while. Until one evening I asked, why are we planning to work until 65 when rent by the sea in Greece costs about what we pay our utilities here in the US suburbia?
And that made me stop and think deeper, because it wasn't about lowering our cost of living or downgrading our US lifestyle. This was more about totally retiring somewhere else. So we ran the numbers for the same lifestyle, same comfort, same routine, just in a different place. Beautiful and more sunshine. So let's use the example we've been sharing before. The cost of living in the island of Crete, Greece. Rent around $800 a month. Utilities and internet, $150. Groceries and dining, $600. Health insurance, $250. Travel and fun, $400.
And that is $2,200 a month.
Or $26,400 a year.
By the way, this is not about living small, actually about living well, just without the constant pressure about our retirement budget.
Inflation still exists, of course, but starting from a base point of $2,200 instead of $7,000 a month, that makes a huge difference.
So then 10 years from now, with the same inflation, that lifestyle is still under $3,000 a month.
So put these side by side. Seattle today, $84,000 a year. Seattle in 10 years at 3% inflation per year, we're looking at $110,000 per year.
But then in Greece, the island of Crete today, for example, would be $26,400 per year. And in 10 years, at about 3% inflation rate, it would be $35,000 a year.
Same inflation.
but completely different stress level.
Now, let's talk about early retirement, the years before Social Security. If you retire at 57 and take Social Security at, let's say, 67, that's 10 years.
And in Seattle, inflation, 84,000 times 10, that would be 840,000.
Add the 3% inflation per year, and you're looking at over $1 million just to get to age 67.
But in Greece state,
Yeah, well, we're looking at 26,400 times 10 years. That's $264,000. Even with inflation, it stays much closer to 300,000. That's less than 1/3
such a huge difference.
for sure.
And that's when we stop panicking,
And we don't have to stress about retirement anymore.
right? Now, fast forward to age 67.
In our example, the couple gets about $4,000 a month in Social Security.
That is $48,000 a year.
In the U.S., expenses with inflation included are around $110,000 per year. Social Security helps, but it doesn't cover all the living expenses.
But then in Greece, in the island of Crete, for example,
The example of our calculation for Crete, Greece, the cost of living gets to be around $35,000 a year. That's less than 1/3 the price in Metro Seattle.
so then Social Security income suddenly covers the basics and then some.
This is how we look at it now. When it comes to looking at retirement early, we don't think in giant totals of money we need. No, we look at monthly gaps between our income and our expenses.
Yes, and in the US suburbia, that gap when we retire early is about $7,000 a month to cover the basics.
But in Greece, it is about $2,200 a month.
And you can layer the income sources to cover that gap.
Even if you're not retired early, say you have a $1,500 a month pension in addition to Social Security.
But in the US suburbia, it's still a big gap to fill.
In Greece, most of your basics are covered.
And you could add Roth IRA withdrawals or rental income, maybe at about $700 or $1,000 a month. And then suddenly there's no gap. And that's the moment retirement suddenly feels not scary anymore. And it starts feeling achievable. And you have a much clearer picture of it.
And this is where another big piece comes in for a lot of people.
Yeah, their primary home.
Yeah. So let's say you sell your home for what would unlock perhaps $400,000 proceeds, your equity.
So instead of sitting in a non-liquid asset, you invest it conservatively. Just think about diversified, dividend-paying apps at a very reasonable yield, about 3 to 4%.
That's roughly $12,000 to $16,000 a year. Again, very conservatively. During the big years of early retirement, that covers a huge chunk of your living costs abroad. And later on, it becomes optional income.
And you can subsidize the rest with Roth withdrawals, rental income, or a part-time job, or consulting, or online work. And I think that what actually surprised us the most,
Yeah, it was how much calmer everything felt once the math made sense.
yeah, we didn't desire to suddenly quit our jobs the next day, but we just didn't need to stress anymore, as we finally had a clear plan about our early retirement, and we stopped feeling like we had fallen behind in our retirement planning.
So if retirement feels impossible right now, it might not be because you're doing something wrong. It might be where you're trying to make the math work.
Yeah, that's where the location is key.
Yeah.
For us, once we looked abroad, retirement math finally made sense. And once we saw the numbers working, we realized that we could retire earlier than we thought possible, and we could use our healthier years.
If this video helped you, we've got a few others that you'll want to watch next.
And you have a full list here. We break down our full retirement number step by step in another video.
We also have one on how we finance the bridge years before Social Security and Medicare kick in.
And a whole playlist of what we've learned from our exploratory trips and more, including cost of living, healthcare options, the cost, the visas, and residency requirements. We will link those here.
And we'll see you in the next video.
We are Ella,
And I'm Kevin.
and this is Smart Retirement Abroad. Ciao, belli.
Bye, guys.
Bye.